Good morning.
Sound of our teen sports listeners, I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Good morning, Santa Barbara. Another beautiful morning here. Love it. Welcome from Teen Sports Radio. I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. This show is for every teen athlete out there learning how to train hard, rest smart, and take care of both body and mind, because strength isn't just about what you do on the field. It's how you recover, how you rest, and how you show up for yourself. We're here to give you the tools, perspectives, and a little encouragement from our local leaders to help move you forward in this new world, in sports and in life. So take a breath, settle in, and let's get into today's show. We've got, everybody is on Santa's sleigh today, going to be flying across. I have so many people. I'll be here at 5. I'll be there at 10. I'll be there at the end of the show. So I'll just list everybody. So we're going to enjoy, let's see, how about Dr. Sean Roberts will be here a little later. He'll be the latest one, I think, and he's at an appointment right now. He's the owner of Coast to Coast Physio. Ryan Quirk is going to be doing his segment today. I'm excited about that. Emily said she's doing a lesson right now, but she said she wanted to pop in a bit. Okay, but right now, Dominique Hackett's in the house. How you doing, Dominique?
I'm doing really good.
Woo! Kristine Marie, owner of A View from the Deck, is here. My sister. Okay, we are going to come back again, and we're going to be on the same basketball team. I just know it. Kristine Marie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, if you'd been around when I was younger, maybe I would have played basketball or at least volleyball, but I never did.
God, I would have picked you out from across the field, across the court, across the hallway. Okay, that would be nice. I needed you to pull my stuff off because I always got the top locker and I was always jumping. You know what I mean? I needed you. That's it. Oh God. Well, I had a spurt, but like when I met Kristine Marie, it would have been like probably 7th grade, and we would have done our journey all the way up. I would have been so excited.
I was just going to say, I was pretty contrarian as a kid, so everyone kept going, "You're so tall, you should play basketball." I was like, "No, I'm not gonna." So I needed some adult.
You needed a friend that played.
I needed a friend, and I needed an adult or a coach who was like, "Hey, come on, I'm going to help you. You could do this." And I think that makes such a difference. Yeah.
Oh God, you just would have, I could say all state. That's what you would have. Anyways, Don Sanders was going to be with us here in a little bit, but you know how we always like to do the show, reaching out to the community, which we embrace, which we love. We're so blessed to be here. It costs probably 50% of what you make to stay here, but nobody's complaining. Is anybody complaining?
No.
When you see and prayers and wishes to all the Washington. Yeah. Like, my God, right now, Washington. I mean, if it breaks away, that's going to be an island. It's so bad what's going on up there. And then they got worse weather, hitting them again right now. So especially up the holidays coming, there's no words. There's no words. So again, this is where you reach out to your Red Cross, your Salvation Armies, if you want to support somebody, because those are the organizations that support things like this when it's just that much of a disaster.
Disaster relief.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've always wanted to, I told Dominique, well, there goes the river property. Take that out of her. Cross that off the bucket. So do you want to go first? Who do you want to give love to?
Can I give a shout out? I mean, if people may be doing last minute Christmas shopping, I want to recommend Salty Brothers. They are down on Lower State Street, 429 State Street, and they have one of my favorite gifts that I love to give for Christmas, handmade soaps.
Oh, wow.
Handmade soaps. Oh my gosh. They, natural ingredients. It's sustainable. It's local craftsmen. They have lots of things in their shop that are handmade.
Nice.
And I really appreciate our community supporting our local artisans.
Yeah, you know who was into that for a while? Our Sky Ellsworth.
Yes.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but oh my God, was
handmade
that nice?
Those are awesome.
My son grabbed them all.
Yes.
He goes, I go, God, smells so good. He goes, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, where's the soap? Yeah, that's what he does. Where's the soap? The soap, right? Kristine, do you have anybody you want to say hi to? Or
Yeah, I really want to thank, speaking of local artisans, I really want to thank the Libero Theater because we did our show this last weekend, our Revels show, and it was just wonderful.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and we have a long-standing relationship with the Libero, and we've done our show there for as long as most of the time of our show's been going, and it's such a wonderful place for local community and for people to see shows, for people to be in shows, and so I just love the Libero, and so I just want to give a shout out to the Libero. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Very nice. Well, I actually have two. First is I got to bring Dr. D in to this one. David, who runs the Showers of Blessings. It's the place where if you're displaced or if you're unhoused, I have to say this so political. Dominique is grabbing my leg right now. Don't say homeless. I said, okay, I'm not going to say homeless. I'm so sorry. Displaced or unhoused. Okay, so I have been a part of it. We do with my ex-mother-in-law. We do lunches there, and I've been doing it for quite a number of years right now. And I finally got to meet David, and I really love what he does. And I can see just in the drive of going there how it has increased. And I could because you can tell. So we've like almost doubled the amount of offerings that we're giving every week on the bag lunches. And he was so grateful. And hey, I'm like, well, whatever you need, this is my thing. This is what I like to do. It's fun. We even have a little peanut butter jelly line. Peanut butter jelly line. That's what we do. It's awesome. It's funny. And then we do the peanut butter jelly dance. It's like really good. We probably put a lot of love in there. I even put those little silicone little bracelets in there that have the something inspirational. Sometimes it's religious. Sometimes it's just you got this. Sometimes it says listen to Teen Sports Radio. It's just whatever. But so anyway, Dr. D, thank you, because I love the commercial you did. This is like I think the 88th commercial we've donated now the last 15 years to businesses and nonprofits, and this is a really good nonprofit. And I'm really grateful. I mean, they've bumped up the amount of showers. They've increased it like 30%. Wow. Okay. Of recent months. So they're doing a really good thing. So if anybody, it's holiday season, but if anybody wants to make a charitable gift, it's showersofblessings.org. Check it out. They've been doing it for 10 years here. It's a really cool thing. A couple started it and they said, what's the biggest thing that Santa Barbara needs? And they just need to help out the people that don't have a home, don't have a place to live. So they started the Showers of Blessings. So I'm really excited. So, and then the next person, this is a person, oh my goodness. When you pick up, you random call somebody and this voice, I don't know, it's a vibration. That's what a voice is, right? It's
so
vibration.
Lovely,
kind and sweet. And honestly, so I've been trying to navigate through the medical system because I'm working through a hiccup here in my own medical situation. And I've been trying to get this one particular doctor and, because he's the best, you can't get to see him right away. But anyway, I finally just called every day and I just recommend people doing every single day. And I finally got a hold of Savannah and she moved me up a little bit on Monday. And then 2 days later, she moved me up like a month. So now I only have to wait like 2 weeks to see this and I'm so happy. And she's and I did get to meet her, right?
Yes.
I got to meet her. I gave her a gift. It was just so grateful because it's hard, and I could tell she was on the phone with me for like 5 minutes, like really trying to help me.
Yep.
So I really ever so grateful to you, Savannah. Thank you. Dr. D, who do you want to give some attention to? There's got to be somebody. It's Christmas.
Well, I will tell you that, especially to my wife, who is making a great recovery, as well as myself, and we're getting settled in, to the extent that I am actually following this program to my first dental appointment, which has been a long time in coming, here up on the mountain. The reason I say it that way is because when you start to dive into your community, you start to reach out and look for a dentist, look for a physician, look for a good mechanic, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to give props, if you will, to the community of Blue Jay for all of the infrastructure that it provides to individuals such as physicians, dentists, etc. So I'm grateful to this community up here. And do you know, I went from, around 90,000 in Santa Barbara population to 1,500. 1,500 people. So I hope by the time I get to 70, I will know all 1,500.
That's true, right?
Yep.
So this exciting stuff. Dominique, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to give us a little tease before the break of what you're going to talk about or no?
Yeah, I did a little spiel directly to teens about some of the things that, we can see that they're Googling and asking questions about. And it's focused on, the screen time on our phones, and that's scrolling at 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's wild. It's crazy. It's like they said the average, if you have an issue with being attached to your phone, it's like 5,000 swipes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
5,000
Wow.
a day. Wow. That's not like a week. That's a day. The average for a teen, I think, is like 2,700.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just like crazy.
I just made a promise to myself just recently, just before we go into leave, is that I was not going to pick up my phone and look at anything for 2 hours before I go to bed and 2 hours after I wake up.
Brilliant.
And it's made a difference. Yeah.
We've shut it down. All right, Dominique, you're ready. We're ready. Santa Barbara's ready. Fill up your tea or coffee. We'll be right back with more after these messages.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hey there, Teen Sports Radio family. It's Dominique here from Santa Barbara Wellness Center. And today, I want to talk to you, not your parents, not your teachers, not the people who still print directions from MapQuest. Yeah, no, I want to talk to you, teens, because I know what you're Googling. And no, you're not typing in the neurological effects of short-form video on adolescent brains. You are typing things like, why can't I focus anymore? Or, why do I get bored so fast? How about, why am I anxious for no reason? Or why am I tired and can't sleep? And why does scrolling make me feel worse? And I want you to hear this clearly right up front. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is not broken. Your nervous system is just overloaded. Let's talk about it. Attention and focus. And why can't I focus anymore? If you feel like your attention span is shrinking, like homework feels impossible, like even fun stuff gets boring fast, that's not because you're lazy. It's not because you can't concentrate. It's because your brain is swimming in a dopamine whiplash. Yep, dopamine whiplash. Short videos train your brain to expect fast, flashy, instant, next. So when the real life asks you to stay with one thing, your brain goes, where's the button to skip? That's why teens Google brain fog and short attention span. Your focus hasn't disappeared. It's just out of practice. Attention is a muscle, and right now it's been replaced by scrolling cardio. Mental health and overstimulation. Why am I anxious for no reason? This one hits deep. So many teens say, I'm anxious, but nothing bad is happening. Or, I feel numb. Or, I feel wired and tired at the same time. That's what happens when your nervous system gets powered down. Your brain is taking in hundreds of faces, hundreds of emotions, hundreds of opinions every single day. No pause, no silence, no digestion time. Imagine eating all day without ever stopping. Your stomach would revolt. Your mind does the same thing. So when you Google overstimulated all the time or social media burnout, it's your nervous system waving that little white flag saying, please, can we just breathe? Sleep and energy. Why can't I sleep at night? This one is the loudest alarm bell. If you're exhausted all day, wide awake at night, scrolling at 1:37 a.m., wondering why you feel awful in the morning, it's not just that blue light. It's mental activation. Your brain doesn't know the difference between drama on the screen and drama in your life. So when you scroll before bed, your brain thinks, oh, we're still hunting, watching, reacting. Sleep can't arrive when your brain thinks it's on duty. Sleep is not a weakness. Sleep is repair mode. It's also integration mode too. When sleep breaks, everything else follows. Now, how about identity and comparison? Why do I feel behind everyone else? This one might be the hardest one to tackle. Social media shows you everyone winning, everyone glowing, everyone ahead. But here's the truth nobody tells you. You're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. And of course you feel behind. And of course you feel not enough. That doesn't mean you're failing at life. It means you're human and you're within an algorithm designed to mess with your self-worth. Yeah, they've engineered it against you. If social media makes you feel smaller, that's not motivation. That's distortion. How about the dopamine and motivation? Why does nothing feel fun anymore? Have you said that? Or someone close to you said that? This is the quiet one that scares me the most. When teens say, nothing feels fun. I have no motivation. I'm addicted to my phone. That is simply dopamine burnout. When your brain gets too much stimulation, real joy feels dull. But joy doesn't disappear. It's just buried under noise. Boredom isn't your enemy. Boredom is actually your doorway back to your creativity, your drive, and meaning. Athletes know this. They train focused. They protect recovery, and they don't scroll through practice. Your mind deserves the same respect. So here's the quick takeaways. Teens know something's off. You feel it in your body, your mood, your sleep, your motivation. So you search for relief, not research. All you want to know is you're not weak, you're not broken, and you're not failing. You are living in the most stimulating moment in human history with a nervous system that still needs rest, rhythm, and real connection. Small changes matter. Moments of quiet matter. Putting the phone down doesn't mean you're missing out. Sometimes it means coming back to yourself. And remember, thank you, listeners, and to all you teens, be good and do good. God bless you, and let's go, Santa Barbara. You've got this. Dominique Hackett with Santa Barbara Wellness Center for Teen Sports Radio.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m. a.m.
Welcome forward. This is Christine Marie with a view from the deck. And today is Tuesday, December 23rd. And it is the sun is in Capricorn, which means if your birthday is today, you are a Capricorn. And the moon is in Aquarius. And the moon is also waxing. We just had a new moon on December 19th. And so there's still time. And it was the last new moon of this last year. So if you had some intentions that you wanted to finish up for this last year, there's still some time. It's still a fairly sickle, just slightly little moon. You can still put an intention on the moon and watch it fulfill as it comes into, it takes about 14 days. So it'll be right into the new year as you're doing some completions. And that, there aren't a lot of aspects going on. It's just that reminder that, the new moons and that the moons are so reminiscent of the turnings of the years too. So when we have this new moon, full moon, that's like the winter solstice and the summer solstice, right? So we're just past the winter solstice too. And the winter solstice is, the shortest day of the year. And then the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. And the new moon is the darkest night, and the full moon is the brightest night, right? So these phases that we go through, and it's we just like the moon has phases as human beings, we have phases, and it's really important to just allow ourselves to be where we are whenever we are. Sometimes the funny thing about the new moon and the full moon is that there's during the new moon, it's a quiet, sort of receptive, sort of darker place. It's like an intentional place, and the full moon is like a lot of energy. It's like letting go. It's this brighter, it's like this bursting kind of energy. And we all have phases. We don't have to phase with the moon. We don't have to phase even necessarily with the seasons and the cycles with the sun, but we often do. And so I think it's really important for teens and for everybody to really watch, how our own phases and who we are and how we move through the world and honor those phases. And which is, part of the reason I think that I honor the phases of the moon and the turnings of the year, because when I see myself where I am in the world and I watch the world moving around me, even if it's just the seasons moving around the world and the moon moving around the world, because as we move around the sun, right, that's what changes our seasons. So, so I just wanted to honor those seasons and honor you guys and honor everybody listening, to honor our own seasons in the seasons in our lives. There are some times when I feel that, this is just a season, right? What is that quote? That people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. As a teen, I really felt like the season of being in school and then getting off for summer break and then being in school and getting off. I could fit into that rotation of the season pretty easily, but I don't know that. And then, there's certain holidays that are really precious and stuff like that. But I didn't really fully embody a sense of the moon cycles and stuff till a little bit later in my life. And
me too.
It's just because nobody around me was being aware of it. But the more and more I started studying the biology of my body, I realized, wow, circadian rhythm, the whole thing about light and producing melatonin or producing cortisol and all these things. Wow, nature has the most profound effect on us, and we walk around like she doesn't matter.
Right. It was a game changer for me in my late 20s, actually, to start connecting in with the earth. And I was surprised that I'd been so busy running around doing stuff that I never paid attention. And
well, I love what you do, and I want you down the road here real quick because Dominique is up next. But we know kids, people, we're all not just one thing, right? That's why you want to hook into astrology, because it naturally supports really multidimensional identities. Whoa, yeah, we're complex. Dominique just complex, just like you, girl. Okay, you're who's up next? Ryan. What am I talking about? Ryan Quirk next. right after these messages.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hello and welcome back, Teen Sports Radio listeners. This is Ryan Quirk with another self-mastery story, a self-mastery segment here. And today I want to talk about the power of being immune to praise and blame. And so this is especially potent and powerful for any young athletes out there who might be trying to make a team, maybe dealing with a coach that they really like or dealing with the coaches that they do not like, because I guarantee you, if you're an athlete, you have experienced both ends of this. Whether it's an assistant coach or a coach or even just a older player or a captain on your team, there are people that we end up really gelling with and jiving with, and there are people that we do not. And I myself have had my fair share of different coaches that I've absolutely loved and still keep in contact with to this day, and coaches that I kind of despise. Maybe that's too heavy of a word, but just I completely disagreed with their philosophy, their style, everything about that. But what I really want to talk about is not so much whether you're dealing with a good or a bad coach, but how you're dealing with your own mind, how you're dealing with your own confidence on the field, on the court, on the ice rink, whatever sport that it is that you play, or just in life. You know, this can be applied to professors as well, teachers, bosses at jobs, managers, things of that nature. And I want to share a little story about how I went from 1 year, my confidence being absolutely tanked, just in the gutter, to playing some of the best hockey I ever played and having the most fun I've ever had while doing it. And this basically ties back to a simple idea of being immune to the praises and blames of others. And what I mean by that is, you know, when a coach that we look up to, or a coach of any kind, is being kind to us, saying good things about our game, you know, it obviously feels good. We feel like our confidence is up and things like that, but that can put us at a vulnerable position, because let's say we have an off game, or we run into a coach that we don't like and don't gel with, and they have some criticisms about our game, that can quickly tank our confidence just based on those criticisms. And I remember, you know, I played for this one coach one year who I really just did not like the guy. He was kind of a smoker. He was a Bostonian man. You know, I was playing back in Boston. He'd always kind of kneel down, get right in my face, and I could kind of smell the cigarette smoke on his breath. And he kept playing me at defense when I told him, you know, I play better at forward, and he just kept putting me on defense over and over again because he didn't think that I had what it took to play forward. And I remember that year my confidence was the lowest it's ever been. Every year I felt like I'd been developing, enjoying the game. That year I just really disliked it. I also didn't really gel with my team too well, so it was kind of difficult. But, you know, I persisted and kind of made it through that year. But what I noticed is that even going into the next year, when I made a team with a coach that I really liked, my confidence was still kind of low. And I realized I had let a lot of this other coach's judgments kind of seep into my mind. You know, whether or not I liked him, I took his word as law just because he was the coach. I was wondering, you know, maybe I'm really not fast enough to play forward like I wanted to. Maybe I should just be playing defense. And all these kind of negative thoughts and beliefs were filling my mind. And it wasn't until I realized what was happening by listening to different athletes talk about their experiences with their coaches. And one in particular comes to mind, which is Kobe Bryant, who was, you know, not always the nicest guy to be playing with, although I'm sure there are some people who would sing his praises. You know, he would often get a little argumentative with his coaches sometimes. He would only listen to certain coaches that he respected and stuff like that. And I'm not saying to do that, especially if you're a young athlete, but what he did always have was an undeniable level of self-confidence. Whether his coach told him that he needed to do this or to do that, he trusted his own instincts and his own game. Now, it's very important, especially as a young athlete, that you listen to constructive criticism when it's coming from a healthy and respectful place. We're always trying to get better. There's always improvements that we could be making on and off the field or the court or whatever sport you play. There's always things that we can improve upon. And so you want to be sure that you're, you know, listening to the coaches that you respect and kind of taking in constructive criticism with, you know, with an open mind and realizing that it's not always a knock on your game, but you don't want to let it seep into your level of of self-belief and self-confidence. Because ultimately what I've found as an athlete, and when I've kind of studied other athletes and their mindsets, the greatest asset that any athlete has is their own intuition. More so than anything a coach says, anything a teammate says, anything a scout says. You know your game. You know your capabilities. You also probably know what you need to work on and what your greatest strengths are. You know that better than anyone else, better than any coach, and you have to trust that. Do not take anyone's word as law above your own intuition. You can be open to constructive criticism, constructive feedback, and you can be open-minded in dealing with people that you may not initially like. I actually, a couple years after I had this negative experience with this coach that I really did not like, I was playing in a game a little older. I was 18, and he came to the game, and he was really a nice guy. He ended up saying, you're looking great out there, things like that. He was being nice. So, people aren't just black and white. They're kind of multicolored and multifaceted. Even when we have negative coaches or negative influences that may be negative for a season, it doesn't mean that they can't turn it around. But what this is really saying is if you're a young athlete out there and you know how you want to play, you know how you can play, don't let even what other people may deem to be the smartest, wisest coach out there dictate how you play your game. Be open to constructive criticism, be open to feedback, be open to learning and growing and trying new things, but ultimately trust your intuition above all else. You know what to do, and be immune to praise and blame. If people are singing your praises for having a good game, but really you knew that there were things that you could have done better, don't let that get so kind of in your head. In the same way, if you've had a little bit of a bad game, but you also did some things right and people are kind of giving you some criticism and feedback for that, don't take it all to heart. Know that you know your game, you know what you need to do, and really, really develop that level of self-trust. That level of self-trust and that trust in kind of that inner, still, small voice that is guiding you both on and off the field, on and off whatever sport you're playing. And just trust this in life, because one of my favorite TV shows is Friday Night Lights, and I was never much of a football player. I dabbled here and there in some other sports, but I was really mainly a hockey player. But one of the things that's in that TV show, which is posted on the locker room wall, is that football is training for the rest of your life, is what it says in there. And I think that's true with any sport. A coach can kind of be like a boss that you might have to run into at the workplace. Your teammates are going to be your coworkers or your family or anything like that. And it's training for how you overcome adversity in your life. Do you react to adversity with anger, frustration, confusion, self-doubt, or do you react to these adversities with calmness, courageousness, courteousness, kindness, things of that nature? So whatever sport you're playing, whatever you're doing, or if you're not playing a sport right now and you're just playing the sport that is life, trust your intuition, trust your instincts, have that level of self-belief, and enjoy the praise when it's there, but be immune to both praise and blame. Not just be immune to the negative thoughts of other people, but don't let the positive praises kind of knock you off your center either, because sometimes we get so attached to needing that external validation that we lose our confidence when we're not getting it from other people. We have to learn how to give ourselves that level of validation. We have to be able to look within and reflect honestly and openly and say, where can I really improve? What am I really doing well? Beyond just what other people are telling you about your life. Because again, nobody knows you better than you. So trust that intuition, trust that still small voice. And if you have a great coach, that's wonderful. Realize that in life there will be bad coaches and bad coworkers and good coworkers, and sometimes even bad family members and good family members. And it's not about what they say or they do. It's about how you react, how you respond, and whether or not you're willing to listen to your own inner guidance. So thank you, Teen Sports Radio listeners. If you want to find more of my work, you can find it at RQ. That's my initials for Ryan Quirk, RQSelfmastery.com. You can find my book, my work, and everything else like that. And thank you for tuning in to another Self-Mastery Story.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
For Teen Sports Radio, I'm Don Sanders. DonsMassageOhio.com, 805-236-2684. Here to bring you a hygge. A hygge is a Scandinavian term for a comfy, cozy feeling that feels like akin to getting a hug without maybe the physical hug. And as we've already heard here this morning, we're contemplating the passion and power of youth and all the kind of experiences that we propel ourselves into, and some great thinkers in the world that writers and lecturers and things talk about how we've cultivated a lot of knowledge, but maybe not enough attendant wisdom to go with it. And so in your everyday life, I hope that, you sift through all your experiences and that you have some trusted advisors and people that can help you sometimes adjust your course, and that you can start to cultivate wisdom as well as learn and storehouse quite a bit of knowledge. That's what led me to, my Buddhist practice I've been into for 40 years. It's the whole point of Buddhism is to take the human experience and to sift through everything, all the experiences in that, and try and cultivate wisdom or something that can go forward to create value. Value creation is what it's all about. In my youth, I was all over the place with interest in art and literature and music, and then some surrogate big brothers got me pointed towards sports, and then that took so much energy and my time that I had to kind of back burner all the other stuff till this time a little later in life, when I started to get out the guitar again and enjoy some of those other things. But it's like you can find anywhere you're looking, always be looking for people that start to trust or develop your instincts to where you can tell when somebody's really grounded and genuine or whether somebody's just trying to sell you, because we have infinite potential, but sometimes the human experiment can go awry when somebody comes to pluck at your ego strings. Everybody's got ego buried in different depths from the surface, and sometimes the egoic desires can take us away. So plumb for the depths and somehow maneuver through all the waves and all the obstacles. Don't ever give up until you can find yourself a grounded self that starts to make some headway. I'm starting to see that now manifested in my children, because one of the things my wife and I sought to give them was a love of raw nature. So we moved to this place, Ojai, so we could kind of live at the base of mountains out in the country. And they have really taken it and run with it. My younger son, I should say, he has just completed a gnarly expedition of the Condor Wilderness behind Fillmore, and I'm talking where they had to rock climb and there was no trails and they had to ford streams with their packs held over their heads and all that kind of stuff. Not all kids like that kind of stuff, so I'm glad that ours have been. And then my younger daughter just soloed a 14,000 plus peak in the Sierras near Mount Whitney, Mount Williamson. Last year she went and she and some friends got rained out of there and they had to bail. So she went back by herself this year and completed that. And she's after being a captain of the varsity rowing team here in Ojai, she got an interest in running, and she's run 2 half marathons. We're going to watch her run another one to Santa Barbara in November, and then she's going to do her first full marathon in December up in Sacramento. So these kids, I think they're cultivating some wisdom along with this too. But boy, they are full bore as far as getting out there and having kind of experiences. And so, I hope all you teens, that nothing blunts your will to go out and experience life fully, kind of like Emily's experience there. Same time, I hope you learn discernment so that sometimes you can feel whether something's helping your development or just kind of hyping you. And Tracy Chapman had a song, All That You Have Is Your Soul. She said, don't be tempted by the shiny apple. Don't you eat of the bitter fruit. Hunger only for the taste of justice. Hunger only for the word of truth, because all that you have is your soul.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Ryan, what do you want to say?
Don, I think you made a really key distinction there between knowledge and wisdom, that we can know a lot of things intellectually, but wisdom is what we practice. We can know to be loving and kind towards other people, but it only becomes wisdom when we practice it on a daily basis. And I also love what you said about getting out there and experiencing. Experiences are the nectar of life. Anything that we acquire, whether it's new shoes or a new car or new necklace or anything like that, will eventually leave us. But our experiences and what we learn from them and how much juice we get out of them, we take with us forever. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you made that distinction. Yes. It's like nothing you can buy at the mall is gonna take the place of one good day in the woods or at the beach.
You know, I a lot of times if you're in your 6th decade, you look back and like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, can we pass the torch to the young? And then Orion comes around. I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay. You know what I mean? We just need one little blinking light. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, right? Yeah. What do you say? Yeah. Dr. Sean, what do you say? You were like that little blinky light. You were like a little rhinester. I know it.
I mean, I don't think I can put it any more well put than Ryan just put it, to be honest with you. I think, getting out there, like we were talking about before, and just getting those experiences in life, getting yourself into an uncomfortable situation. That's what I meant by an uncomfortable situation is like, if you're looking at a hike that you want to go take, and then you're like, oh, this might be too big, I'm not quite sure, within reason, obviously, give it a try. Get out there and see what happens. And living through that experience will help you grow in a multitude of ways.
Yeah, but look for signs. Like if it starts to rain or you see like a bobcat, just say, there are going to be signs. And signs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can turn around is okay. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I was working in a communications company, and one of the sales guys there said, "Hey, you want to go for a hike today?" I was like, "Oh, sure." Well, he took me up freaking Mount Hood. And we went all the way up to the top, and I got to the place where there was this huge crevasse, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should have stayed at work today. So that discernment is like sometimes you can go on these crazy adventures, but that reminded me of that.
Yeah, so awesome. All right, Santa Barbara, we love you. We so appreciate you. And we're so thankful to you. Thank you, Laser. Thank you, KZSB, the station that talks about Santa Barbara. All right, you guys, hug it out. See you next week.